Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm the person behind Happy Puppy Truffles. Today I wanted to share with you guys a free downloadable you can get from my website to print at home so that you can make your very own kind of more colorful traditional origami. And we're in the middle of spring and summer's just around the corner, and so I was kind of looking at some of the traditional flowers that are available. And a couple of my favorites is the harebell and then the bellflower. This is a bellflower origami. And it just makes such a pretty realistic looking flower, and it's not too difficult to fold. It's probably an intermediate kind of level one. And I went ahead and made 4 different color variations. There's a purple one with little white tips and a yellow center. The yellow one with little fading at the tips. White one with a yellow center, and then the pink one as well. And as I said, you can get them all free from my website. I'll have the link in the bottom of the description and throughout the whole video if you need to go there and check that out. And just have fun with it and make a bunch of them. I think they make really pretty decorations and stuff. I intend to do a more of like an origami arrangement with some of these with real regular origami paper and show you guys how to make like a stem to connect them to and stuff. But for just the fun of making these, and they make such pretty things to just have sitting on your desk, you can make a whole bunch of them. They're real pretty that way. So they also make really great kusudama too, so I'll show you guys how to do that at some point too. Lots of fun things to do with this flower. It's a really pretty flower. So but yeah, and I think it's just so satisfying to see how cool it looks when you're done folding. It's one of the few that I really love folding for sure. So let me show you guys how to make these here with the pink one that I have. Now you're going to want to start off with the color side facing down, and we're going to start off with a square base. So I'll fold my paper in half, both vertically and horizontally. And then once I've gotten those creases, I'm going to open everything up to the color side and fold in half diagonally both ways. That'll give me the preliminary creases so I can collapse this down into a square base. Now open it up and find those mountain creases we have going horizontally and vertically. Just pinch down here and push into the center. Everything should shimmy around until you get this nice diamond or square shape, which is a square base. And then you want to make sure you're still looking at it here with the point and these open flaps pointing down. And I'm going to take the top right edge and roll it towards the center here. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can fold all these in first and then squash it. It's up to you guys of what you tend to feel works best for you. I like going through and just getting my creasing done first since I'm doing this anyway. So I'll be folding all 4 of my sides into the center here. And then I'll open everything up and squash it down. So get all these done. And then you can kind of just open everything. And then I'll just start with one, and you just open up the flap, put a little pressure on that edge until it smooshes out and creates this nice little shape with these white flaps showing. Then just fold the flap over, do the same thing on the other side. And this should go fairly easily because you've already made the creases. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side too. When you're finished, you should have something that looks like this. Then I'm going to take one of these flaps, fold from left to right, and do the same thing on the other side so that I can see this nice area here where I've got the triangle piece at top and these little legs down at the bottom. Now what I'm going to do down here is take that bottom outer edge, or the white edge, depending on which way you're holding it, fold it towards the center. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side too. And I'm going to open this then and fold this part down. You're going to create a crease that goes between right where both of those creases hit on the sides. So you can kind of start it by just pinching it out and pulling down. And then we want to try to create a crease here. And in this case, you really do want, if it's one of the patterns where you can see a fade there, you want to try to get as close to that. And don't worry so much about if the edges don't match up right or whatever. You want to just try to get as close to that as you can and then fold that flap down and try to get a nice petal there. And especially on some of the ones with the fade to white, you know, if you're off by a little bit, you could see that. So even if this winds up getting just a tad bit crooked, it's a little bit better than leaving it with that big color difference showing up. And I'm just going to repeat these steps then for the remaining 3 sides and get all these parts opened up here. And it all, you know, how this folds sometimes depends just a little on how well you cut the paper out, you know, if it was a really good square, how well you did your preliminary folds, if that was also, you know, lined up right. Sometimes these things get off a little bit, and that's okay. You know, you just want to try to adjust for things as much as you can so that when it prints well. I mean, when you fold it, it folds well. So just kind of play around with it until you can get it to come out right. And I'll do these other 2 sides here. So when you're finished, you should have something that looks like this. We're just going to kind of look at it from the top here and open things up a bit. And you don't want to unfold everything, but you can have it pretty open so that you can look at things. We have these tall points and these short points. The short points are going to be our remaining petal piece tips, and these longer points are going to fold down inside. If you're looking at it, for example, with 2 tall on the sides and then the shorter one in the middle, I'm going to kind of just hold on to that shorter one for a second. Let things open up. Get this part together so that it's kind of laying against that edge. Pull this side open a little bit. And you want to try to open up this area where that tall point was for just a second so that you can put a little pressure here and let this whole thing fold down inside. I know this is a little tricky until you get used to how to do it, but if we look again here, I've got another short one. I'm just going to put this right snug against it, open up that top layer so that this whole part gets a little smoothed out, and then just push down on this straight down. And it should be kind of really natural the way it falls down into it. So you won't really need to you don't make any new creases, you don't do anything. It shouldn't take a lot of pushing. It should just kind of naturally collapse down this way because of the way we folded everything. You just go around and do that for all 4 of them until you get a completed bellflower. And this one's got little darker tips and the yellow center. So just some fun different ones to kind of enjoy. I know the color pattern on this is a little subtle, but I hope that can be one you can enjoy. And I'll have some more fun projects to do with all these, of course, in the days to come. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!